A brazen theft in the Cherry Creek Mall leaves the victim with a permanent injury to his hand. That crime and the search for our robber tops our news. I'm Jim Benneman.
And I'm Karen Lee. The shopper lost part of his finger. CBS 4's Tom Meston talked with the victim a week after the crime. And Tom, he had just bought an iPad as a favor for a friend.
That's right, Karen. And what's really sad about this is Bill Jordan told me he moved his family here from New Jersey 14 years ago to get away from the crime there. But he says after what happened last Thursday in broad daylight here inside the Cherry Creek Mall, his life and the life of his family will never be the same.
I saw just a bone. All the skin and tendons and everything were off. So.
Bill Jordan is describing the violent robbery inside the Cherry Creek Mall that tore off part of his finger.
It's like a bad dream.
Last Thursday afternoon, the 59-year-old Aurora man walked into this Apple store to pick up an iPad for a coworker.
For someone who was being promoted.
Bill left the store with his iPad bag tied around his hand. Unreleased surveillance video showed two young men following him.
They're just walking right behind me.
A few feet from these doors to the parking garage, Bill felt a violent tugging at his arm. He looked down and saw a young man trying to grab his bag.
He was almost sitting on the ground. He was pulling so hard, and it was so tight around my fingers it wouldn't come off. And then finally he gave it a one big jerk, and that's when he stripped the skin off of my pinky, and it went right down to the bone.
The robber grabbed the iPad and ran out of the mall. Bill says he went into shock and used napkins from a food vendor to try and stop the bleeding. Paramedics rushed him to a hand surgeon who told him part of his left pinky would have to be amputated. And now, with his hand covered in bandages, Bill has a message for the brazen criminals who changed his life forever.
I hope you understand what you've done to my life and to my family's life for a simple piece of apparatus that will be junk in a couple of years.
Now, Bill is left-handed, and he tells me that he's worried he'll never be able to throw the football or baseball with his grandkids again. But he is meeting with a hand surgeon tomorrow, so we're hoping for a little good news there. Meanwhile, the Denver Police Department says it is investigating this case, but so far, no arrests have been made. Live in Cherry Creek, Tom Meston, CBS 4 News. Karen?
A terrible story, Tom. Thank you. We found out about this story from a news tip. If you have something that you would like to share with us, contact us through cbs4denver.com or call the tip line 303-863-TIPS.